Freeform radio did create a whole new platform for all new music. And the situation as I understood it when I was first coming to San Francisco was I was never going to be in show business. I was never going to make records. I was never going to have a chance to do any of that.
When Steppenwolf was really a baby band in Los Angeles, our first album was finished, and there was the question of hit singles versus the album and all this sort of thing. And we were lucky in the sense that the timing for the release of our album coincided with the advent of the previously ignored FM radio band, which all of a sudden started to sprout these alternative format radio stations.
AM radio wouldn't touch my music with a 20-foot pole. There was always a reason why it wasn't going to be played. There was always a reason why they weren't going to take us seriously. And we put our first record out and we sold 150,000 albums. That was like what Johnny Mathis was selling. I mean, that was a big amount of records. They wouldn't play our stuff.
Tower actually did all of its buying at the local level, at the store level. So the kids in the store were learning by listening to freeform radio on what things to buy, and they were bringing this stuff into the stores. The whole thing, you know, built on itself.
The eclecticism of certain radio stations, whenever I heard R&B right next to, you know, huge stadium rock, next to big band music, next to ragas, that was always exciting to me, and it's still exciting to me.
There's no question that FM radio and everything that followed gave really this expansive approach to say something worth saying on an album. You are not limited anymore to putting all your chips on this 1 3-minute single release and you live or die with that, you know.
It took a lot of us kind of tied together in this network of radio stations, and I can name you hundreds of artists that benefited particularly from the freeform radio experiment, in that is how they became popular. They were not the sort of artists that were going to get played on Top 40 radio, or if they were the sort of artists that were destined to have Top 40 hits, initially they weren't.
As we went across the country, it had spawned similar stations almost across the entire country, whether that was in Louisville, Kentucky, or in Austin, Texas, or wherever it might be. And so collectively, to this day, I feel that the exposure, our first and then subsequent albums of ours, received through these FM radio pioneers, it played a large role in getting us onto the radar screen of, you know, young America.